Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. I hope all is well. So, we have a story here, a sad story here. Um a woman shoots and kills the pastor at a bar but claims self-defense. Let's get into the story. Let's start.
At 4.
Breaking news on your news leader at 4 today. We're learning more about what may have happened to a well-known pastor who died in the streets of Memphis early this morning. Pastor Ricky Floyd was shot and killed outside a South Memphis bar and kitchen. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Alex Coleman.
And I'm April Thompson. We're just getting information in from police this afternoon. An affidavit says 3 people, including a woman who is now charged, got into an argument with Pastor Floyd. It goes on to say that a video from Mama's Bar and Kitchen shows Floyd threw the suspect's phone to the ground along with a beer can.
Now, police say he started to drive away but got out and walked toward her. Then she reportedly moved toward Floyd, and that's when police say he walked backwards away from her and then fell to the ground. Of course, this has all sent shockwaves all across Memphis and the Mid-South.
Indeed, those in the community as well as other pastors are responding hours after learning the man who preached nonviolence is one of the city's latest victims of violence.
So he got out. So they got into an argument. So he was at a bar. And we don't know why he was at the bar. But he got into an argument with someone through this woman's phone, and I guess he broke her phone and threw a beer can, and he drove away, came back, I guess to get up in her face, and then she met him and shot him. She met him halfway, I guess, when the report said that he walked up to her, she walked up to him and shot him.
Crime scene tape blowing violently in the wind marks the spot where a violent attack happened overnight. It was just after 1 a.m. when police were called here to Mama's Bar and Kitchen at the corner of Kentucky Street and E.H. Crump Boulevard. Listen as this.
Just after 1 a.m. So this, when the police were called. So this happened around 12 o'clock, or it was past midnight. I don't know if it happened around 12, maybe 12:50 or something like that. But why are you at a bar at 12:50 in the morning? Why? As a pastor, why? And he's married. I believe he's married. But why are you at this bar at near 1 o'clock in the morning? Let's continue.
Dispatch relays information from Broadcastify.
It was involving a female shooting a male who was constantly approaching her in an aggressive manner.
Police, along with other first responders, soon arrived, but there was nothing they could do. This ambulance sat idle as the man shot was never rushed away from the scene. Instead, this is where he was pronounced dead. The victim, we learned, is Pastor Ricky Floyd, the senior lead pastor of Pursuit of God Transformation Center in Fraser.
I don't know what to say. A pastor would be slaughtered. It's just rare. And I guess it's rare, but it seems to be an occurrence that's happening more often.
A manager here at Mama's Bar and Kitchen told us off camera this did not happen inside the establishment. They're also telling us it happened once they closed up. She wanted to make that clear. However, what's unclear is what prompted the deadly shooting. A source with first-hand knowledge of the case says there was a dispute between Pastor Floyd and a woman later identified as Samantha Marion. The source goes on to say the pastor threw her phone before things spilled into the streets and then spiraled out of control, ending with Samantha Marion allegedly shooting and killing the pastor. She has since been charged with voluntary manslaughter, a killing in which someone is said to have acted in the heat of passion. While police continue piecing together what happened, there's a community far and wide grappling with grief.
To all of those in Memphis and Shelby County and throughout the country and throughout the world that had the chance to encounter this brother's life and ministry. So it's definitely a time to mourn.
For your news leader in South Memphis, Jarita Patterson, WREG News Channel 3.
And that police affidavit says the suspect, 42-year-old Samantha Marion, admitted to the shooting. She's charged with voluntary manslaughter and is set to be in court tomorrow. And earlier today, Dr. Keith Norman, pastor of First Baptist Church Broad, spoke with us about his colleague and good friend.
While he was a great preacher, the staple of his mark on the city of Memphis would be his love and care for people and innovative approach to doing ministry outside of the pulpit and outside of the four walls of the church. He was strongly committed to that, and I'm prayerful that we will remain focused in that area and keep that legacy alive.
He went on to say Pastor Floyd was an advocate and his voice will remain.
And we do want to let you know we will have Team 3 coverage throughout.
When he says we will focus on that, we will focus on his legacy and nothing else is what that pastor is saying. They're not going to focus on why he was at the bar at 1 o'clock in the morning or around 1 o'clock in the morning. We're not going to focus on that, but he was getting to an argument with this lady and two other people. And I mean, I don't think she knew who he was. I don't think so. But there was probably some alcohol influencing their decision. But let's get into another video in which this young lady is claiming self-defense.
News tonight, the woman who Memphis police say shot well-known pastor Ricky Floyd didn't know Pastor Floyd before the shooting happened. That's according to her legal team.
Yeah, the attorneys claim Samantha Marion and Ricky Floyd were strangers. Marion was in court today for a bail hearing. She's still behind bars on a $100,000 bond.
Action News 5's Imani Williams live with the latest on this case. Imani, we're hearing from Pastor Floyd's church regarding today's court hearing. What do they have to say?
Yeah, there are many questions regarding this case, especially the relationship between Pastor Ricky Floyd and Samantha Marion. And like you said, her legal team went as far as to say is that they are strangers. But I want you to take a look at your screen so you can see what the church had to say. Now, this is from the church where Floyd pastored, even released a statement today saying in part, quote, "We are deeply thankful for the official notification regarding the recent incident involving Pastor Floyd, who was fatally shot after enjoying a late night meal. Floyd and the individual involved, Samantha Marion, did not know each other and were complete strangers," end quote. The prosecution argued against reducing Marion's bail today. Well, they said she could have let Floyd leave after he left the bar. The prosecution says she approached him with a gun behind her back while they were outside the bar. Now, the defense said she has a job, 4 kids, 2 of which are minors, and she doesn't have a criminal history, which is why her bond should be lowered. Well, Marion's attorneys went on to say her phone was thrown and she was verbally assaulted inside and outside the bar.
In our mind, no way that it should end up with any sort of conviction. We think that it's a classic self-defense case. We don't know exactly what the prosecutor was referring to as it relates to aggression, but everybody that we've seen and have talked to date has indicated that the aggression was from one person.
Now, Judicial Commissioner John Marshall decided to not lower her bond. He said that he read through the affidavit and weighed her absence of a criminal history, but ultimately he believes that the bond that is in place is appropriate for the crime and to make sure that she attends her court hearings. I'll have more tonight at 6, but live outside 201 Popular, Imani Williams, Action News 5.
Yeah, so I don't know about the self-defense. Now, he came towards her, but did she I mean, it doesn't seem like he had a weapon on him. She could have pulled out the gun to threaten him. And then some may argue, well, she didn't know what he had in his pocket. Maybe he had something in his pocket. He came back to do harm. What was the argument about? But she is claiming self-defense and saying that he was the aggressor in this situation. And he may have been. But when you take out a gun and just shoot it, you're now the aggressor, in my book, in my opinion. And I may be wrong, but that's how I look at it. But 4 children. She has 4 children. How many? Let me see. Does he have children? I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't want to make this a long video, but and this happened in Memphis, but this is sad, man. Like, why are you at the club? Why are you at the bar at 1 o'clock in the morning, around 1 o'clock in the morning, having an argument with someone you don't even know? What did they do to you for you to have an argument with them and to lose your life? You know, and this young lady having a gun, where'd you get the gun from? Is it yours, or are you registered to have it? You know, are you licensed to have it? Like, there's a lot of questions. And but we see the actions of our consequences. Our actions and the consequences of our actions can not only affect us, it can affect the ones we love, right? This woman has 4 children now who may see their mother imprisoned, incarcerated for life. So they have to deal with that. This pastor has a wife. He has children, people in the community who looked up to him and who he was there for and who he encouraged and inspired, who he preached the word to. Now he's out of their life, and that's something that they have to deal with. That's trauma that they have to deal with, right? Let's go to 1 Peter, the 5th chapter, and the 8th verse. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So we are to be sober-minded, to be in the mind of Christ wherever we go. Yes, sometimes we're going to slip and fall. That's just human nature. But we have to yield to the power of the Holy Spirit and stay in our right mind and know what decisions we are making. Neither of them were in their right mind. Drunk or not, intoxicated or not, neither of them were in their right mind, right? And we see the results. Lives are ruined because of the decisions that they made while not being sober-minded, while not being in the right mind, while not being in the mind of Christ. This affected a lot of people. I'm going to give you all an update on this story. I'm going to be following this story, and I will continue to provide updates on this story. And these are sad stories, but let me know your thoughts. This is a very sad story. Let me know your thoughts on this. But my question still remains: what were they arguing about? Why was he there at 1 o'clock in the morning? But that's not something that we're going to dwell on. We're going hopefully we'll find out more of that. But if not, it's fine. They are going to celebrate his life as a pastor. But we as pastors pastors, we have to do better, especially in the community, and not just with the ones we know, but in the community. Unbelievers have to say good things about us as well. Now, this is one of the qualifications of a pastor, in Timothy, First Timothy, the 3rd chapter. These are one of the qualifications. Outside the church, those outside the church have to have nothing but good things to say about you, right? This is one of the qualifications of a pastor. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. God bless you all. Be safe.